Hey guys, welcome back to YGO Podcast. We're right back at it again. As you can see, we have Plunder Patrol. But before we get into the deck profile, I just wanted to say thank you guys. We're sitting at like 245 subs for the channel. We are growing extremely fast. Thank you. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, please comment and like the video. Let's get that algorithm flowing so that way we can get into some more deck profiles. But first, let's go ahead and kind of do a once over on the deck. So this is going to be Plunder Patrol. If you don't know, Post-Photon Hypernova, which releases in, I believe, in 2 days. That is going to give us a new Plunder Patrol extra deck monster in the form of a Earth ship, Plunder Patrol ship Jord. So that is a Pendulum Synchro monster. I do not have it for this video, but I do have it proxied in here just for your reference, okay? So, getting into the Plunder Patrol deck profile. So this deck focuses on basically your extra deck monsters coming out to the field and you equipping your main deck monsters to those monsters to give your ships quick effects. All right. And the ships themselves are going to provide a bit of negation and banishment depending on which ship it is, and also protection to your Plunder Patrol monsters that you have on board. So the main idea is to get to your ships as fast as possible and equip them with your Plunder Patrol cards as fast as possible to maintain card advantage. So that's Plunder Patrol in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. All right, we're going to be running 3 Whitebeard, Plunder Patrol Helm. I'm going to go ahead and take this and read it real quick. Whitebeard is a level 4 Fiend Tuner type monster. 1500 attack, 1000 defense. Its effect states during your opponent's turn. Quick effect. You can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in the graveyard. And if you do, equip this card you control to it. If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your deck except Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Plunder Patrol monsters. You can only use each effect of Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm, once per turn. Now, it says use, not activate, which is pretty good, all right? So the Whitebeard is going to be your starter. This is going to be the main way you're going to get to all your combo pieces. And this is how you're going to get out your Plunder Patrol ships. So essentially, you're waiting on your opponent. One of the downfalls of this deck is that you're going to have to wait on your opponent to put those attributes out on the field or in their graveyard in order for you to take advantage of them. So the thing that you need to do with this deck is make sure that you enable your opponent to do things so that, as you see when we get into the rest of the deck, you'll be able to see like what we put in there in order to kind of enable those strategies to happen. Now, we'll go ahead and get onto the 3 Black Eyes, the Plunder Patrol Sea Guide, and I'll go ahead and take this one and read it real fast. So let me go ahead and fix that. It's a level 4 Fiend effect monster. What it states is that you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard except Black Eyes, a Plunder Patrol Sea Guide. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Plunder Patrol monsters. If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster card in your spell and trap card zone. Special summon it into defense position. You can only use each effect of Black Eyes Plunder Patrol Guide once per turn. So this is going to this is a card that's going to help you kind of get your opponent kind of off your back, especially if they're targeting something that's in your back row. If your opponent knows how the deck works, or if you just need to make an Xyz, you can kind of get that monster out of the spell and trap card zone and use it as more fodder. Now, when they're equipped when your Plunder Patrol monsters are equipped to your extra deck monsters, they don't do anything in particular besides enable the effects on the extra deck monsters. Just keep that in mind. So you're going to be running 3 Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol, what is he? Shipwreck shipwright. I keep saying shipwreck. Bluebeard is a level 4 fiend effect monster with 500 attack, 1000 defense. It says if you control a Plunder Patrol monster except Bluebeard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can discard one card, draw one card. You can only use each effect of Bluebeard once per turn. Now, Bluebeard is the most simple text on any of these Plunder Patrol cards. Just going to let you know that for starters. That's why we max out on him. He says draw one card. I mean, that's literally the best thing that you can do. Also, he is a level 4 monster, and he is essentially synchro material. So the next three that we're going to be running is Golden Hair, the newest of the Plunder Patrol. All right. So we'll be running 3 of those, and I'll grab this for its effect. So Golden Hair states that it is a level 4 Fiend Tuner effect monster, 0 attack, 2000 defense. It states that you can send one other Plunder Patrol card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one card, special summon this card, but you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol monsters. You can only use each effect of Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol, once per turn. So this is going to be kind of like your unbricking yourself, essentially getting stuff that's off the field, getting stuff out of your hand. That's what Golden Hair is there for. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And also Golden Hair will be helping you, like, I guess, recursion. So you can kind of dump her, bring her back. So you're going to be running 2 Redbeard, the Plunder Patrol matey. So 2 Redbeard. Redbeard is a little bit different. It sounds the same, it looks the same, it kind of feels the same as Whitebeard, but I'll explain the differences. So it's a level 4 fiend, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and it states that during your opponent's turn you can special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. And if you do, equip this card to it. If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can target one Plunder Patrol monster you control, except Redbeard. Equip this card to it. You can only use the effect of Plunder Patrol matey once per turn. So Redbeard is a little bit different from Whitebeard, just due to the fact that it's like missing a piece of the effect. So he's still really good. You still want to run him at 2. But effectively, Whitebeard is a little bit better. So we're going to be moving on into the Plunder Patrol spells. You're going to be running 3 of your Plunder Patrol Shipyard. What this is probably one of the best, I want to say one of the best field spells that is in the game. And I'm not saying that in terms of comparing it to like Primeval Planet Paralino or anything like that. I am saying that just for this archetype supporting, it is a very good field spell, and it supports its archetype very well. So what it states is Plunder Patrol Shipyard. It states that Plunder Patrol monsters you control gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone. You can also use each of the following effect of Plunder Patrol Shipyard once per turn. You can discard one card, add one Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, except Plunder Patrol Shipyard. And then the second effect is if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone, set this card, and if you do, return that target to the hand. So as you can see, this card will always bring itself back from the grave, and it bounces other cards back to your hand just to set itself, and it also it searches any card within the archetype, so it's pretty busted. So you're going to be running 2 of your Plunder Patrol emblem of the Plunder Patrol, and this is going to be your equip card for the deck. So what it states is that it says equip only to a Plunder Patrol monster, gains 500 attack. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. It says you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster on the field or in the graveyard. Then take the monster that was equipped with this card and equip it to that special summon monster as an equipped spell with this effect. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. Perfect. So essentially your Plunder Patrol emblem is to proc effects. That's essentially what it is there for. It is there to help proc other effects that are happening in the game. So that's what you want to do. You want it to equip to your ships, so that way they get their effects. Also, your Plunder Patrol monsters can start to get really big at some point, just due to having your shipyard on the field, the emblem, and quite a few other card effects that are going on at the same time. So now we're going to go into kind of our side package. Do not hate me for this. You're going to be playing 2 Bystial Lubellion, 3 Magnamut, and I want to do a shout out to Phantasm's YGO for giving me this idea. He had a similar package like this. You'll be running 2 Druid Worm, 1 Ball Drake, and then 1 Branded Regained. He had a similar package. I believe he was running 2 Ball Drake and 1 Druid Worm. I'm not exactly sure what his package was, just based off of memory here. But he had a very similar package in his Plunder Patrol deck, and I went ahead and tried it. It's a very, very, very good package. You're going to need it definitely for this format. From the playtesting that I did, it is very strong. Very, very, very strong. It helps keep the interaction between you and your opponent mostly in your favor. And also it helps apply quite a bit of pressure, just because now that with the Lubellion, and I'm sorry if this is not so much of like as a budget option for you, you can always replace this package with the adventure package as well. You can replace this package, I believe, with pretty much more hand traps. You can do that as well for this deck. It's just, I think that this is a very strong, even going into post Photon Hypernova format, this is a very strong package. And I don't know how else to really explain it other than that. So, moving on, we're going to move on into the hand traps. So, we're going to be running 3 Nibiru. All right. And Nibiru is just because Kashtira can't handle Nibiru. Then you're going to be running 3 Ash Blossom. And Ash Blossom is just because it's rotating within the format. Most decks are weak to this, including your Plunder Patrol. Plunder Patrol is extremely weak to Ash Blossom. So if you're ever playing a mirror match, which you might actually, considering that Plunder Patrol is rogue this format, so you might actually run into it. Just remember that you have a main deck Ash, and it does hurt your opponent. And then you're going to be running 3 Triple Tactics Talent, and I think that this is just an overall good card. There are formats for it, but this card is extremely good, especially in this. And then you're going to be running 3 Infinite Impermanence. Yeah, I think that that's going to pretty much round out the hand traps very well. If you have any suggestions, please comment down below with any improvement, any suggestions. I will look into them. So moving on to the extra deck, you're going to be running 3 of your Plunder Patrol, Blackbeard, Plunder Patrol Captain. Blackbeard is what's going to really help you facilitate keeping card advantage. It helps you draw 1 card. So Blackbeard's effect, it says it's a fiend, linked to 1600 attack, 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol monster. So you can use your Bystial and 1 Plunder Patrol to make this. It says quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster you control, special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. And if you do, equip that target to them, then draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Blackbeard Plunder Patrol Captain once per turn. So this is what keeps you drawing cards. And it's also a quick effect as well. So you can kind of, it's there to help you cheat out your extra deck monsters, as well as you know, their effects. So it automatically equips them when they come out, and applies that extra pressure that they do have, which you'll see here in just a second. So we will be running 2 of the Earthshift, Plunder Patrol Jord. Yep. I do not have the card. Like I said, it'll be proxied here, and I'll probably try to input the effect in here somewhere, probably right now. So that way you can go ahead and read it for yourself. And yeah, we'll move on. So it'll be 2 of your Plunder Patrol ship Morik. So you'll be running 2 of these. This is a pretty awesome card, and quite frankly, in my opinion, kind of the bread and butter to it, because it just has so many effects. But the fusion, hands down, is the best, and we'll get to that in just a second. Plunder Patrol ship Morik is a rank 4 dark monster, and it states that it needs 2 level 4 monsters. It says you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, banish it. Then you can add 1 Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is a quick effect if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card. You can only use this effect if Plunder Patrol ship Merrick once per turn. If a Plunder Patrol card you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can detach 1 material from this card instead. So it is quite a it's almost like the glue that holds the deck together, or at least all the extra deck together. Moving on, we're going to be covering over the Plunder Patrol ships brand. So that's going to be your level 8 Synchro. And what it states is that it is a fiend. It requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. All other fiend monsters you control gain 500 attack. It says you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card, then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. Then you can add 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand. This is a quick effect. If this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can only use each effect once per turn. So as you can see, this is kind of like your Galaxy Cyclone and Rhoda at the same time for the strategy. Then you're going to be running 2 Plunder Patrol ship Lice. This is probably the most busted one, and I'm going to read it here. It is a light level 8 fusion type fiend, requires 2 Plunder Patrol monsters. It states that during your main phase, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up spell or trap card zone when you're, it says that, and that's it. And then it says, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Then, if this card was equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can add 1 Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So it is a anything Rhoda. And it has 2 quick effects, and they do not require it to be equipped with a Plunder Patrol card at all. So that is good, and it also provides effect negation and searching. It is a very, very strong card. The only thing, if you notice about Plunder Patrol, is that their attack is very low, so you have to really rely on all of the boosts that you're going to get throughout the strategy. So moving on, you're going to be running 1 Dark Charmer, then 1 Dragite, 1 Chinying, 1 Baron de Fleur, and then I'm going to recommend 1 card that is going to be probably useful through the rest of this format, depending on if that Iblis strategy is still out there, is probably trying to fit in a Lingaribo somewhere in your strategy. So that's all I've got for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to YGO Podcast. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're new here, please, and you like what you see, please subscribe for more videos. And for my subscribers, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I really, really care about everything that you guys have to say about any deck profiles that are up there. Please continue to comment. I'll continue to respond. Please check me out on my socials, on YGO TCG Decks, on Facebook, YGO OG on Instagram, and I'm also YGO Podcast on Twitter as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Plunder Patrol deck profile. I'll see you guys at the next conversation. Peace.